Welcome in, girls, gays, and fellow ghouls. Your shift is about to start. I'm the monster under your bed, Carly.
And I'm your regional store manager, Jalen.
And you're listening to Ghoulie Girlies.
Welcome.
Welcome
to podcast number 1.
Oh yeah, introductions.
Our homemade pod.
It's very homemade, as you can tell. But I feel like it gives it warmth, you know, like it's real. So, what is our podcast about?
So, our podcast, the Ghoulie Girlies, is gonna be about just kind of talking about true crime. So, what has happened in the past? Do we need to pay respects to them? Is there something that's unsolved that we kind of need to talk about? And also, we're just two girls with opinions.
Yes. And theories.
Yes.
Tinfoil cap on a lot of theories.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are here to kind of just get a good introduction as to who we are, what are we doing here, why are you listening to us speak, things like that. So, yeah, do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, my name is Jalen. I don't know anything about myself right now for some reason. Oh yeah, we're talking about who we are, how we know each other.
Oh yeah. So, we have been friends for 15 years.
Facts.
Straight facts. 3rd grade. So,
it's been a long time.
It has been. I could not tell you how we met though.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I just remember one day we became friends. We lived next door to each other for a little bit. And now we're here in our 20s.
Yeah.
So
I remember us dancing around as my dad was moving into the house next door to her.
Yeah.
And we were dancing around that empty house, and it was so much fun.
It was so much fun, I know. Yeah, we had a pretty interesting childhood together.
Yeah. So, and now we need to talk about some murders on the pod. So that's what we're doing here.
It's our thing now, so.
Absolutely. Oh, and we went through college together.
Yes.
I forgot about that part.
3rd grade to we're still in college.
Yeah.
So won't say which college, but we are in college.
Well, we didn't go to this college together. But
no, we're in separate colleges now because she's smarter than me. Getting your master's, so.
I think I'm gonna drop.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, my major was English, well, still is English, with a concentration in literature, so I'm knowledgeable in books. That's it. Yep, those are my credentials, so.
Period. And I double majored in psychology and social work, and kind of picked up my niche with social work with a concentration in child psychology for my psychology degree, and we will likely be talking about child psychology and things of that nature that may have affected children, or how did your childhood affect how you react to the world in real life, things like that.
So she has actual credentials on most of this stuff, but I just like my books.
I don't read.
Perfect.
We're so good. And then, yeah, social work just kind of like popped up into my life, and that's what I'm in my master's degree for. So we'll see if that ends up getting finished, or if I can get really famous off podcasting.
And then she doesn't have to finish, so we'll see. I don't do anything. Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom currently. I have a baby that's 3 months old, so if you hear crying at any point, that's why. He's adorable, but I will not be showing him on the internet for reasons. I mean, hey, some of the cases we talk about could be dangers on the internet with children, and I just am too anxious to ever subject him to that. But he is a little boy and he's very cute. His nickname is JJ, so you can know that much. And he's 3 months old and he's adorable. And can I talk about my birth? Do you think that would be? But not my birth, personally. My birth, my mom had me 23 years ago. So he was due in September 5th, but he came a month and a half early because he has FOMO. The biggest FOMO baby I've ever met. So we had a brief NICU stay for 8 days, and he excelled in that, and then we got to go home. And 3 months later, he's doing awesome. It was an emergency C-section because I had pre-eclampsia, which Horrible. Don't ever do that. So if you're pregnant or plan to be pregnant, make sure you eat right, avoid sodium, and walk as much as you can. Don't do what I did. Okay? Because then your baby will come a month and a half early. So, but yeah. That's my job. My job is JJ. So.
Yeah. And I don't think I'm going to get too much into my job on the internet, but it does have to do with my social work degree. And I think that's all that I'm going to kind of get into here, just because, once again, we will absolutely be talking about the dangers of talking about like your own children on the internet and things like
definitely.
that, and how this internet place that we are at is a very scary place.
It is.
And any involvement here is horrifying. And what are we doing here? We're having fun.
We're having fun because we're old enough to have fun. So we're in our 20s, you know? Do what you want to do, just make sure you're safe and you know who your kids are talking to. I mean, there's a lot of cases that have been like talked about before, like the Slender Man case and things like that, where just know who your kids are talking to. Like my fiance loves to watch Predator Catch. I don't know if you've ever seen that on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
They just like
Antonio watches that too. Oh, that's my boyfriend.
my fiance's Joseph.
She's a lot more life developed than I am.
I kind of went quick. Listen, I met him on the internet, so I mean there can be good things that come out of there. He's amazing. Love him. We have a baby together. We've been together for almost 3 years. We literally said, shoot when you score. He proposed to me a year in, and I said, yeah. And now we're here. But, what was I saying? I can't remember. My brain, I have mom brain. That's a phenomenon that is very real. So, oh yeah, there's just a lot of things on the internet, like Predator Catch. I mean, you know, you just know who your kids are talking to, who you are even talking to. A lot of older people get bamboozled and scammed, and
absolutely.
So, just know.
With Roblox right now, too.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm so scared about that.
There's a lot on there, too. I mean, and Roblox isn't... Allegedly, they're not doing a lot. So, allegedly, there's a lot going on Roblox. Allegedly, that's gonna be our favorite word, by the way. We will not catch a case. So,
we will. We did already say this. We will be theorizing quite a bit.
Yes.
So if that's anything to kind of be excited about or to run from.
And we are very LGBTQ plus friendly.
We are of that.
We are of that. So everyone is welcome. If you are hateful, you are not welcome. I'm sorry. And I know our intro is girls, gays, and ghouls. Men, you are the ghoul. I'm kidding. Men, you are not ghouls. You're in there somewhere. So.
We also called ourselves ghouls.
Yeah, we're ghouls. I'm the monster under your bed. Yeah. She's a regional manager. And you're clocked in. You're clocked in for your shift right now. Yeah.
So be ready to clock in. Don't clock out.
No.
Or else we'll be sad.
And you won't get a paycheck. Your paycheck is just having fun, hanging out with us. Like we're all buddies. Yeah. So.
And we are basically here to laugh at ourselves. I'm not sure how much y'all will be laughing at us or with us, but we're gonna find
We're gonna crack ourselves up, yeah. After 15 years, everything is funny.
Every second. Y'all should have seen the first couple of takes of this.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We think we're the bee's knees, so we hope you do too.
Absolutely. So, a little bit more with us is that we are Midwestern goddesses, not always born in the Midwest.
No, I was not born, but I like to claim I'm a Midwestern goddess, so.
Yeah, so any of the Midwesternisms, they will be coming out, and you cannot deny it, or else we will be mad at you.
Yep. So. Yeah, we love the Midwest. I will say where I was born, but I won't say where we currently live. I was born in California. So if you hear a Valley Girl accent, I am so sorry. Sometimes I sound like a surfer dude, which is like, you know, but I am from California, and I moved to the Midwest when I was younger, and now we're here, so yay.
Glad we stole that one from it.
Oh yeah, California's missing out, man. Yeah. California's missing out. There's a lot of crime that happens in California. Yeah. I was just like, that popped into my head. I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool episode if we did something with like, just a state by state kind of thing.
What about a 50 state series?
Ooh, That would be fun.
I know the Dakotas are probably going to be picking up on that.
And Wyoming's not real, so...
Yeah.
Wyoming is real. I'm sorry, any Wyomingers.
If you're from Wyoming, comment down below.
Comment right now that you're from Wyoming.
Send us $5. No, just
send us $10 even to be like, yo, I'm real. That's the only way we'll be able to know if you give us money.
Mm-hmm. And also, just want y'all to know, we will have mics next week.
Yes, this is we just wanted to really get our intro out there so that we're in and we're moving, because we are very excited about this. And if any of you have a case that you want covered, that you don't hear talked about a lot, we will happily cover it if we feel like it is something we can cover. Like, can I talk about our case for next week?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I am presenting the first case next week, and it's Aisha Degree. I won't say much about it, but it is her disappearance. If you know of the case, don't spoil it for Jalen. Jalen knows nothing about it. We're doing this thing where we kind of, I don't want to say surprise, because that's like we surprise each other with a case that the other may not know much about or know nothing about, and we get live reactions.
Yeah, so basically kind of what to expect with the podcast, because I think I skipped it. Where one of us is going to research and learn about a case, and the other is going to stay completely oblivious. Of course, if we're both going to be researching information from cases, there's going to be bound to know a little bit at some point. But this first one, I'm going to be completely blind to what the case is, what any of it is about. And then the information is going to be on, Carly's going to be the first talker. And so that's going to be the person giving the facts. And then we're going to have a fun little reaction person. And that's going to be some fun in there. So you're going to get some of the informational pieces and then the reaction pieces. And either you can relate to that reaction, or you can leave hate comments and hate the reaction so much.
Yeah.
We'll get paid.
Yeah, either way. I mean, any view is good views. So,
yeah. Please love us.
Please love us. We really want to just make like a good following of people that is into true crime, that has respect for that kind of, stuff, I guess. I don't know what else to say there, but just, people that respect the craft of those who take the time to research and talk about tragedies that have happened, to pay respect to victims, because that's one of the things we really want to hone in, is that we are not here to make fun of anyone. We're not here to laugh at any true crime, anything. We want the utmost respect for victims, their families. He's crying. We just want the utmost respect for victims and their families, and we want to gather people that also have that respect and want to listen and remember people that have tragically lost their lives or disappeared.
Absolutely. We're going to be playing a huge piece of that respect and having empathy for those that have lost family members or don't know where their family members are. And even family members that even metaphorically lost a family member due to committing a violent crime that they don't want to be associated with. That is also they're not a victim at all, but they did still also suffer a loss. So kind of talking about that, and also like talking about victim assistance resources too, because there are people out here, maybe even watching, or watching, that know someone nearby that may have had some sort of a victimization. So maybe bringing up resources or things like that,
which she is very good at. So that's her whole thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like, we also too want to bring light to some cases that we feel aren't talked about a lot. Like the Aisha Degree, I haven't really heard much talked about her case until I started researching it, which is kind of sad, and I feel like there's some, like, especially disappearances with kids that need to be brought up, because they could still be out there. We don't know, and this could maybe reach someone that's been like, oh, hey, I've seen her before, let me call into this number. We'll leave the during that episode, we'll have the number you can reach out to if you've seen her or know someone that has done something, you know. Yeah, we'll have resources always in the descriptions that anyone can reach out to if they need it and whatnot. So
absolutely, like resources. It's huge, and if you have experienced any sort of a victimization, or if there is a victimization that is local to you, learning about how can you contact a victim advocacy hotline, how can you deal with that legally. We're not going to give any legal advice here or anything like that.
We're not.
But kind of those kinds of conversations as well. The gears are turning, like we're moving.
Oh yeah, our goal is to, you know, talk about these cases, but also try to help those that maybe need help. Like we both kind of have experience with like domestic things, so we want to reach people in different ways and build a cute following of those that have the same respect and need the help that we have.
So. Absolutely. And yeah, I don't know why I thought about this, but I guess that's the fun of a podcast, is you just kind of say your thoughts.
Yeah.
But another quick little fun introduction to those of us presenting this podcast. You may also hear some dead dad jokes every now and then.
Yeah, we both have that.
It's not funny. It's really not.
No, but you know, we cope with humor, especially when it comes to losing our dads. So
yeah, so we come from a place of also experiencing loss that has to do with, at least on my terms, I'm not going to talk about your terms, but on my terms, preventable loss too.
Mine, I would say, is also preventable. I mean, I lost both my dad and all of my siblings on my dad's side due to certain things of substances. So definitely preventable on mine, I would say too. I mean, having a heart condition doesn't help either. No. But yeah, I mean, some cases that we talk about, they'll definitely be brought up because I would say we're like the kind of people that when we can relate to something, we relate to it, and we can kind of give advice in that aspect, and also like just, I don't know, be like, oh hey, I know a thing or two, so I can feel more for the people in the cases that we talk about.
Absolutely. And to kind of get in a little bit on that too, there's a big familial aspect to a lot of these kinds of true crime situations that we may be looking into and seeing. I know yours for next week, it does touch on that familial aspect.
Yes.
And for me, I know there are a lot of layers to discussing the functions of a family and what we can do to be more unified as a family, as well as kind of just thinking about there are so many cultural differences between each family, and how quickly would you notice something that could be off or things like that. I don't know, just kind of thinking about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of cases that like they notice in an instant something is wrong, someone goes missing, and then there's other times when like families don't even report someone missing, or they don't even notice until it's way too late, or they even had a hand in what happened to the person that went missing or lost their life. So it's all just like, I know for me personally, if someone in my family went missing or was randomly like they lost their lives, I'd notice immediately, you know. Like I have that kind of bond with my mom and my sisters, which I can't speak on. You do. I can't speak on that. You do. You would notice. But it's kind of interesting how the dynamic of families is so different across the board, especially in these cases.
So. Absolutely. So that is a great thing to think about, especially like I know a lot of those big cases too, either a cousin, a sibling, a parent, they are the defined suspect, and that is a very interesting thing to kind of think about, because I think we'll have to look this up afterwards, but there's a pretty big statistic stating that murders and things like that, they're not random.
Nope.
And
no, it's very rare that they're random. Yeah.
So kind of talking about that and what kind of demographic makes something more likely to happen, things like that. And that will also kind of potentially gear into like that kind of substance use category that we will also be able to relate to. And also kind of taking away that monster idea of substance users too, because there's a horrible, horrible stigma that we will likely be talking about consistently of, was he or she using drugs or alcohol in relation to the victimization or in relation to the crime that was being committed and things like that. So keeping that conversation going and keeping that momentum and having human being empathy is kind of what we're here for.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't speak for you on this, but I believe that people that are in addiction or active addiction, that's not them. That's not themselves. You know, they are taken over by something that makes them a whole different person. Like, I could sit here and bash my dad for all the bad stuff he's done, but then I take a step back and I'm like, he was dealt a bad hand. I mean, in poverty, and just he has had a rough life, and so he turned to something that ultimately made him pass away at a young age. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's kind of something that I'm thinking about, is like, our dads had such opposite upbringings. Like, my dad, he had the is it called the molecular family, where it's two parents married? I can't remember. But basically he had that kind of upbringing. They were a little bit, they weren't rich by any means, but they were a little bit more wealthy. And kind of going along this experience, which, by the way, to those of you that don't know, I just lost my dad in July.
One of
so
the J's.
Pretty recently, and it was making me think, how did that happen? Like, how did someone who had a seemingly good life, you had two parents that loved you, you had a great school support system, a lot of friends, things like that, how did you end up the way that you did? And I realized, well, first of all, that fun story is not all facts like we wish it would be. And with that being said, there's just so much more to it. So we have kind of that that kind of upbringing that you would more think of that could be related
and
to,
like, what's happening behind closed doors that you might not know.
And then it's like, how did this happen? On the other hand, it's how did this happen? And I remember at my dad's funeral, a lot of people were saying, I didn't know that this would have even been possible. I thought he was completely fine. He grew up so good. And it's like,
it's such a mystery how all that happens. It makes you think, because I mean, like, my dad, where do I even begin with that, man? He walked out on me and my mom when I was 7, lied about having cancer. Why? I don't know. He was an interesting guy. And that's what prompted us to move across the country. So, yeah. I mean, it makes you think, because, like, his mom grew up, like, super rich. Like, to the point where they were so rich that they would, if their clothes was dirty, that was such a Midwestern thing I just said. If their clothes were dirty, they would just throw it away and buy new clothes. But then my dad, growing up, his dad walked out, and he was also accused of not so great things that he did to children. And that's kind of, that puts it, you know, in perspective for me, that, oh, my dad turned to the substances that he did because of just what happened to him, and then he continued that cycle and walked out on me, which I am the youngest of 7. Note that all of them are half siblings. I only have 2 that are from my mom, the rest from my dad, who all followed down a very bad path that my dad did as well. I'm the only one to make it out kind of unscathed, thanks to my mom just packing us all up and going. But yeah, it makes you think, because, like, his parents were super wealthy, and then it's interesting how it's kind of like a cycle that continues, you know. And that could have been like with, you know, your dad, I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of with that cycle conversation, we've derailed
so much.
But there was that huge cycle conversation that was going on, because of course when someone's dying, the whole family gets gathered and they start to talk about stuff that you've never heard before in your life. And that's kind of how I started figuring out, like, oh, my dad did not grow up the way that I thought he did. And we had a huge conversation with my uncle where he basically sat all of us down, because my dad had 6 technically children, but he raised 5 of them, and he basically explained this cycle can die with him. It does not need to continue anymore. It can be done here.
Right.
And I mean, me, I will not be touching alcohol.
Yes.
You know,
I'm too scared of that.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what the future brings, because of course my siblings, they're still children, so well, they'd get mad at me if I called them children. They're teenagers and preteens.
Oh, preteens.
Yeah.
So scary.
But it's so important to kind of talk about that familial cycle of, this is going to be something that continues until you decide, I'm going to break this.
Yeah.
I am not going to allow this cycle to continue to impact my family.
Right.
And with that also comes with, I can't be upset if other sides of my family does continue the cycle. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
It was not any of my uncle's faults that he had continued the cycle.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his parents' faults. It wasn't anyone's fault. It wasn't his own fault, except for his own stubbornness and not wanting to accept the fact that he needed help. But
men are right.
Yeah. That's why we're the Ghoulie Girlies.
Yeah.
So,
as we're with long-term partners that are men.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from, but well, it came from Tinder.
Yeah, me too. No, I do agree though with the your destiny is kind of in your own hands, you know, and that's the thing too. Like, to circle back with the cases, that your destiny is in your, like, what you choose to do is going to be the outcome of your life. Like, I know for me, like you said, you won't touch alcohol. I won't touch meth. Never once thought about that. So, or painkillers. I mean, my dad was addicted to a lot of things that were not good, and he had a heart condition. And when I was 17, so fucking 55 years ago, a long time ago, it was about 7 years, how old am I? 6 years. 6 years ago, he passed away from a heart attack, alone on a beach in a van. And his destiny, what he chose, the paths he chose, is what led him to that. And I can sit here and pity myself, but it's also like, I didn't know him in the way I wanted to. He left when I was 7, so it's like, you know, I can only feel so bad for a man that decided that drugs were worth more than me. Sometimes I get sad, especially now that I'm a mom. I mean, I look at my son and I'm like, how can you do that? How can you choose something that's going to destroy your life and your family over something that you created and you're supposed to love? It makes no sense to me. That's too, like, with some of these cases I'm sure we'll talk about, you look at these parents that, like, harm their kid or kill their kid even, and it's like, how? I look at my boy and I'm like, how do you do, my boy, I'm like, how do you do that? You, like, it doesn't make sense. And when I found out that my dad passed away, I did cry. At first I didn't. My mom, I'm gonna tell this story because now it's funny to me, but I was pooping, okay, in the bathroom. I was fully dropping the kids off, okay, and my mom just starts screaming my name. So I'm like, oh, there's a bug, because she always made me kill the bugs in the house. So my first thought was, oh my god, there's a spider I have to kill. So I hurry up, I get out of the bathroom, and she looks at me and she goes, you need to sit down. I'm like, what did she find out? What did I do that she discovered? So I thought I was about to get an ass whooping. And I dead ass thought I was in trouble for something. I'm like, what could she have found out about that I've done? But she sat me down, she got onto my level, and she said, I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, something's about to happen. And she was like, your dad is dead. She said it just like that, your dad is dead. And she was like, can you come give me a hug? And I said, no. I got up, I left, I drove for hours, and then I sat in my car and I screamed and I cried. And my sister called me and told me I need to go home because I'm not in the right state to drive. I was like, yeah, I should probably do that. I went home, me and my mom talked for a while, and then it's a blur. because in my head, my dad was immortal because I didn't know him how I thought, and I just was like, he's never gonna die. And I remember a few days. Well, okay, so my birthday's April 4th, Aries gang, and I found out my dad passed away April 24th. But my dad, we found out through child support. They sent us a letter that said, we're so sorry for the passing of William, which is the craziest way. My dad's name is William Billy. That's the craziest way to find out someone passed away, is through child support. Yeah. But he passed away actually on the 12th of April. He fell into a coma on April 4th. He fell into a coma on my birthday. And I went to a psychic on April 7th. Okay, this is important. I remember sitting down in front of the psychic. Now, I don't know if you guys, we'll touch on ghoulie stuff. Yeah. I believe in psychics. I am spiritual in the sense of I do believe in God, but I also believe in psychics because there's some crazy things that happen there. But on April 7th, I sat in front of a psychic and she told me a man named Billy was coming forth needing to apologize to me. And I did not know my dad had passed away at this point, so I thought, oh, my grandpa Bill, even though no one's called him Billy. But I was like, oh, it's my grandpa Bill. And all I remember from that message was this Billy guy was saying he was sorry and that he wishes he would have done better, and that whenever I feel stressed, I need to go to water. And in my 17-year-old brain, I'm like, why is my grandpa telling me this? Why is he didn't do anything to me. Why is he apologizing? My great-grandpa. And to note, my dad would always take me to the ocean when I was a kid because that always calmed me down. Big, just water. I love water. Hate swimming in it, besides pools. But I love the ocean. I love lakes. He always would take me to the ocean to calm down. And I was like, that's so weird. Why is my grandpa telling me this? And then lo and behold, found out my dad died, and my mom put two and two together, and I was like, that was my dad coming through the psychic to tell me, hey, I'm sorry, go to water, which is the craziest thing. But that's, I mean, that was kind of, he's visited me in dreams, but that was the last real time I've quote unquote got to talk to my dad, you know. Why did I derail so hard just now? I don't know, but it just makes you think, you know, what you choose brings you to a point of your kid is going to talk to you through a psychic. Yeah. That's the point, is be careful what you choose. Don't lead a path that will make you leave behind, you know, your kin, your children, and it just doesn't make sense to either of us, I feel like. Yeah. So, I derailed so hard there. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. That, it's really, really, first of all, creepy how similar our dad passing stories are. Yeah. Because, I'm pretty sure I told you this. It was the week that you got engaged, actually. I was at a psychic fair, and I got a reading from this lady, and she told me, she was like, there's going to be 2 deaths in a row. She said, her exact words were, I'm getting double funeral vibes. And one of the people is going to be someone that you love dearly, but I know that you're expecting it. And I was like, okay, I know exactly who this is about. And she told me that a silver van truck, is how she described it, was going to play a huge role in it. And I was like, oh my God, my dad's going to die in a car accident. That's exactly it. So literally every single day when I'm getting a call, I'm scared that it's going to be, he's dead. Yeah. All the time. Because, of course, I think I hinted at it earlier, he was an alcoholic. And so, alcoholic, still has a car. Yeah.
Not a good mix.
Yeah. But actually, at the time, I didn't realize what car that they were talking about, because in my head, for some reason, my dad's car was gold. And it was more of a truck than a van. Yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so a week later, I figured out that my dad drives a silver Dodge Journey. And if you've ever seen the Dodge Journey, it's a truck van.
It's a van truck.
Yeah. And so I'm convinced that my dad's going to die in this terrible car accident, and it's going to be awful and blah, blah, blah. And I was also up on this whole double death thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, who's going to die? And so this year, my cat died in April, and then my dad died, so that was kind of that double death, and then his car played a role. It was just that I don't know. It wasn't that big of a... Oh, wait a second. It is a big... The day after he died, I saw 13 silver Dodge Journeys just, like, out and about.
Wow.
Yeah, and ever since then, I see so many. And it's a discontinued car. Like,
I remember you did tell me that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But my point with this is, first of all, we both had that psychic experience. That's crazy. But you're asking how can someone actively choose their substance over their children, and with my experience, and I'm not sure if your experience would have been different if you were in more contact with your dad, but I know my dad, he towards the end, and I didn't know it was the end at the time, but he was constantly saying that he was sorry. And I realized pretty recently that my dad's last words, they were to me. And he said I love you like 3 times. And then he said I'm sorry. And the last words he ever said to anyone on this earth was I'm sorry. And that's kind of like, it's been sticking with me a little bit lately, because it's like, he did not want to leave his kids. That was the last thing that he ever wanted to do. So kind of how those substances can just kind of sweep you away and steal you from what matters most.
I guess it's one of those things where you don't think it's gonna happen. You know, that could be what your dad maybe was thinking. But I don't know if I would have had more contact with my dad, if it would have changed anything, because my dad was a felon. Ooh, big shock. The meth was a felon? Who would have thunk it? He went to prison when I moved across, when I moved out of California, and
to the Midwest.
Yeah, to the Midwest. He went to prison because he robbed a Radio Shack and a Pizza Hut. Fucking okay, William.
Why did I not know that?
Oh, did I never tell you that? Anyway, he robbed a Pizza Hut and a Radio Shack, and why? I don't know. He needed money for something, but he went to prison when I was young, and he was supposed to get out when I turned 18, and I had it in my head, I am going to talk to him when I turn 18, because my mom would not allow me to send him letters. She wouldn't let me have any contact with those siblings. So in my head, I was like, she can't stop me. Once I'm 18, I can fully do what I want. Like, I'm an adult. And of course, William decided to die when I was 17. So, like, what is up with that, dude? Like, I was so close to being able to talk to you, but while he was in prison, he did send my mom a letter. How did he get our address? I don't know, because we were technically in a sort of witness protection against him. How did he get our address? I don't know. But the letter, to this day, I'm 23 years old. I'm I know, I'm old. But to this day, she will not let me read it. So I don't know if I would have had contact, if it would have maybe made me go down a path like him, or if it would have made me like, because he was a very good manipulator according to my family. So I don't know if it would have made me go down a similar path as him, if it would have made me had sympathy to where I destroyed my own life trying to fix his. But yeah, I'm not allowed to read that letter, and I want to know what's in it so bad. The only thing she told me is he threatened to kidnap me, which is kind of funny because as a punishment growing up, she would always be like, I'm gonna send you to your dad. And you're like, in prison? Like, where am I gonna go, dude?
Grow up like Megamind.
Yeah, literally like Megamind. I don't know. But yeah, no. I don't know. I don't know if having contact with him, what that would have done. Do I wish I would have had more contact with him? A little bit, just because I'm so blinded to his side of the family. I only know what my mom tells me, and my mom barely remembers anything as is. So I don't know, she could be saying something that is true, is not true. I don't know. All I remember is he was a really good dad to me. We went fishing all the time. Like, my son was born with a literal fish hook birthmark on his forehead. So I'm always like, he went fishing with Grandpa William in heaven. So
Dad caught him.
Yeah, he said, you're going down.
Good luck down there.
Good luck down there. I'm rooting for you, buddy. But yeah, speak of the devil, we have a decent bit of experience talking about losses and being victims ourselves with certain things. Not that that gives us any credentials to... That's my cat, Emmy, and I have another cat named Mochi. She's joined the party. So if you see them, hear them, I'm not going to push them out. I'm not going to shut them up. They are our comfort here.
Co-hosts.
They are our co-hosts. Emmy especially, she loves to yap. But yeah, there's just a lot of cases that I feel like we'll be able to relate to and talk about. Have our own 2 cents and kind of understand how families feel in certain ways, whether it be someone getting sent to prison, someone being lost to alcohol or drug addiction. But yeah, we are very, very excited to run a podcast together. I mean, being friends for 15 years, it was a long time coming, I feel like. But yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what you need to know is that we have credentials.
Yeah, we do.
We have so much, well, not firsthand experience, but all of the stuff we're going to be talking about, and hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
But also just coming from that respect perspective and really honing in on resources and making sure these are people's stories. They're human being stories.
Yes. Yep.
And that is kind of an important part about this, and we are quickly wrapping up due to a
if you hear the crying, that is my baby. Dad gets home soon, so. But yeah, that is our podcast. That's what we're going to talk about, and we are very excited to have you guys along for the ride. So
we never said this.
No.
We're going to hopefully be uploading on Thursdays.
Yes, hopefully Thursdays. So and TikToks when we feel like it.
Yeah. So yeah, follow us on TikTok. I keep trying to say Instagram. You can follow our separate Instagrams.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make a Ghoulie Girlies.
We should make a Ghoulie Girlies.
Follow us on Instagram. Yeah. YouTube, we're going to be posting the full video on YouTube. And of course, whatever streaming platform you're listening to this podcast, whether that's Apple, Spotify, whatever we can get our hands on, we'll be there. Yeah. We'll give you a more in-depth version of where we're at and where we're coming from eventually. And also be expecting our little films to be like 45 minutes to a minute.
It may be longer whenever we get there, but okay.
Yeah, that's what to expect.
Yes.
Sorry about the dead dad rant.
Yeah, clock out.
Oh wait. Love you.
Love you. Bye.